Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Spice and Wolf, episode 12, which is thankfully not the finale. A core finale? Perhaps, maybe, although I'm not sure about that either. But yeah, it's a midpoint, essentially, because thankfully this series is 25 episodes long. It's good to have another long-running series. One of the best seasons, one of the seasons that I remember the most was this, how do I even call it? This like series of long-running series, right? First it was Helk, Freeren, Shangri-La Frontier, everything 24 episodes long. That was super cool. So I hope maybe something like that continues in the future. I don't know what's coming out next season. So we're gonna have to check that out someday soon-ish, within the next like 2 weeks. Yeah, I think we have like 2 more weeks left in this season, then we're gonna have to check out the rest. If you see some things moving in the background, like some papers and stuff, that's because I have a fan running. It's 27 degrees inside, so I kinda have to. Right, regardless. What happened in the previous episode? In the previous episode, we went on our merry way to... can't remember the name of that city, but to the other city to purchase the gold. He's not on the list of characters, but one dude went with Holocraft and Nora, so that, you know, the money wasn't given to them directly, so that they have no way of cheating the Remilio Trading Company, which is good in hindsight, right? I wouldn't have minded if it was not done, but it was done, so cool. Additional points for that. The dude purchased the gold alone, so I'm having certain doubts whether he actually purchased that gold. Right? I'm not 100% sure about that. Or maybe he purchased counterfeit gold or something like that, right? Because it seems weird to me that Kraft did not go with him, right? In any case, the biggest part of that episode was probably the way back through the forest. On the way to that city, on the way to purchase gold, they encountered some wolves, but they never exited the shadows of the forest. They were always keeping their distance, and didn't really attack. But on their way back, they did attack. Probably because of Holo, because the wolves of that forest are also led by a big mythical wolf, not unlike Holo, but younger than her, a very young member of her species? Do you even call it a separate species? Maybe, I don't know. And he allowed her to pass once, but twice was too much. The wolf had to stand up for himself, for his territory, and attack the caravan. Thankfully, because it was Holo who was targeted, the dude and Nora escaped first, leaving Kraft and Holo behind. Then Holo told Kraft to also escape, and she's gonna deal with it. And deal with it she probably did, right? She stood in front of the big wolf and gave him a nice stern talking to. What happens next, we don't know. Maybe we're gonna see the fight, maybe we're not gonna see it. We'll see. Meanwhile, Kraft stopped further down the road on some meadow to rest, to think about, how useless I am. Holo protects me and I can't do anything. I can only have her cloak. Those sorts of, negative thoughts. And then he got ambushed. Well, not quite ambushed. It wasn't an ambush. It was a group of people sent by Remilio Trading Company, who Kraft probably, hoped to be a rescue party, right? Because Nora and the dude escaped the forest and told the people waiting right outside of the forest that, hey, we were attacked by the wolves. No, they weren't there to help them. They were there to finish the job. Their job was to kill Holo, to kill Kraft, to silence any and all witnesses there might be to their shady dealings, and lastly, to silence Nora as well. Thankfully, they were not, cold-blooded killers. They decided, no, Lawrence, son, we're not going to kill you. We're going to hit you in the head, bind you in rope, and leave you to the fucking wolves. We're not gonna kill you. It's not gonna be us sticking a dagger into your heart. No, it's gonna be the wolves. Our hands are clean. Thankfully, Kraft having the cloak with him made them believe that Holo is already dead, already fallen to the wolves, and he's just, holding on to the memento. Even, left it with him. And they went after Nora. So now we have Kraft alone on the forest floor, without a horse, without anything. We have Holo maybe fighting, maybe talking to that other wolf, and we have Nora in danger. We have to act quickly. Holo has to find Kraft, has to, I guess, take him to the city, right? Like, they can't run that quickly. Holo, in her wolven form, maybe, but, they're not gonna chase people on horseback. They're not gonna catch up to them. They're not gonna manage to save Nora until Holo does something, either magical teleportation, or turns into a wolf and carries Kraft with her, or something like that has to happen. We know that Holo kind of sort of warmed up to Nora. They even had a nice talk, even a little bit of bonding over Kraft and over men in, being the wolves and attacking the poor little sheep and stuff like that. So she probably will not need to be convinced to help Nora. And also, if they manage to chase after those people, then she probably wouldn't mind exacting revenge on them for how they treated Kraft, right? No witnesses and all that. So we'll see what happens. We know that the part of the title of today's episode is Price of Betrayal, so probably the price of betrayal is either death, like physical people dying, or death as in the death of the Remilio Trading Company. Maybe Kraft will figure out a way how to completely, drive them into the ground. And the second part of the title is the price of gold, which again makes me believe that there is something wrong with the gold. Either the dude sent by Remilio got cheated easily, or I know something happened there that the price of gold is also going to be higher than expected, in that the repercussions of having the gold and getting it will be severe, or the price of gold will be actually cheap because it's gonna turn out it's not gold at all, actually. I don't know. Also, eliminating Remilio from this whole scheme is going to make Kraft have to sell the gold on his own, and I'm not sure if he's gonna have the proper connections inside of the motherfucking Vatican to, to sell it somewhere silently to a fence. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that in today's episode, but of course to watch it you're gonna need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support the channel. If you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not share my content, spread the word, cost nothing, absolute. On Patreon you get early access to some videos. And with that, we can start watching episode 12 of Spice and Wolf in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, and hopefully you can't hear the fan. My OBS filters should silence it, but just in case, terribly sorry. At least it's not my neighbor drilling in his wall. Smart. Yeah, burn through the rope. Gonna hurt a little, but at least you're gonna be free. Okay. Still the same opening. I wonder if we're gonna get a new opening in episode 13 or 14. We'll see. And yeah, my neighbor has that weird habit. Do I even call it a habit? I have no clue what the fuck they're doing in their home, in their flat, apartment, whatever, in the first place. Because for the past, like, 5 years or so, every now and then, there could be like 2 months break between those events. It could be a day, it could be a week. There's no rule. They start drilling in their wall. They drill like 5 holes, and then it's quiet. And you think they stopped drilling, but just when you try to, do something, I know, go take a nap or record something, they start drilling again. 5, 6 holes, silence. And you never know how many times it's gonna repeat during the day. Are they going to drill 15 holes in total or 30? Are they gonna be drilling throughout the day or just drill twice and stop? I don't fucking know. I have no idea what they're doing there, honestly. Which direction are you running? Back, running towards Holo. Yep, you could say so. Oh, your clothes are intact. Did you not have to fight? Or did you take the clothes off first? Yeah, but he wanted to deal with it more quickly. I mean, at this point, that's perfectly fine by me. Yeah, but now they kind of went a little bit too far. And also, if they are left alive, then the whole plan is bust, essentially. And if the plan is bust, they cannot continue the journey, so yeah. I mean, you're very happy about it, though. Yep. Indeed. Okay, so she's going to transform. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you can get over this artificial divide. You were perfectly amicable just the day before. Oh? How about honeyed peaches? How does that sound? Or like a really good apple tart, maybe? Or honeyed apples, right? Candied apples, maybe. I mean, that's fine. Yeah. You told him. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful indeed. And such pretty ears. Oh, okay, we're getting some nice eye candy. Now that we haven't got an eye candy already, but this is like kind of short, but a cool henshin nonetheless. He's going to ride her after all. Okay, I was waiting for that. Yeah. Yep. Oh, the music. Oh, the music is amazing. With the wind. Oh, that's such a great sound. And the storm. The drums. The bad wolf is here. Or, well, the good wolf in this case. Not just any wolf either. Okay, just going to throw them around, not like eat them or anything. Yeah, Nora. This wolf cares not about your sheep. How? Oh, and the lightning in the background. What's it matter if she's about to die anyway? I mean, I guess that's why he was able to give her such a, meaningless promise, because he knows that she's about to be assassinated regardless. Okay, you can drop your henshin now, Holo. Or you can intervene, Craft. Okay, it's the dude who was with them that got eaten. Or it was just Craft's imagination. Okay, sure. Or was it a commercial break? Yeah, we're 10 minutes in. Could very well have been a commercial break. Yeah, she's not going after you or the sheep. She's going after this motherfucker. Trump! Yes! Thank you. Hopefully he's dead. Right by the head. That's good. No! Oh, come on. Like, I know you're a goody two-shoes at heart, but... they lied. Yeah, leave him to the wolves. Liebert, yeah, that's his name. Break his legs and leave him to the wolves. You're Remerio. You're from the Remerio company. So the company betrayed him. You're part of the company. No, not quite like you. Exactly. That doesn't erase your debt, though. So? So? What's it matter? Let them go bankrupt. Yeah, but they don't. Without money? Also, there are now witnesses that Holo is a wolf. So, how are you going to silence them? Unless Holo has some memory magic or something. But that's unlikely since this is a very, like, low fantasy world. So, no such magic should exist. Yeah, but why save Remedio Trading again? So it seems like you were betrayed on more levels than one. Oh. Rocks, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why Lugner? Whatever the fuck his name is, went to buy the gold on his own. And Lawrence never even seen the money. Is it? Like what, you're hoping to indept them to yourself, or... How? Are you going to, I don't know, take over? That's not my problem. Oh, they have more. Yeah, that works. Okay, debt reversal. Oh? Not... Okay, right, makes sense. Yeah. And he will then just go to the association to get his due. Makes perfect sense, actually. Nothing bad, actually. Yeah, just, you know, a bit of smuggling. How much was Nora promised again? I think it was like 10 Lumione or something like that. We have Note to our name. Okay. I guess that's better than I expected. How are you gonna afford canned peaches? Or, sorry, honeyed peaches? Yeah. I guess not. What would the question even be? Nora? Holo? Of course it was Holo. Right? Even if it wasn't, it has to be her name. That's the only correct answer. Of course. Even if it wasn't, it was. You taught him that. Of course. True. Wrong answer, though. You should have stopped at saying it was her name. Your tail is showing, and your ears. uh... Nora! Yeah? Nora. Ah! Of course! Timed it perfectly. Yeah, it was your name, Holo. And the tail is wagging. Okay. I'm definitely gonna have to go through this episode to, like, fully understand, or try to understand at least what happened. Because I still don't, like, fully understand some of the, shenanigans that they did here with the gold. Like, I'm not sure, for once, whether Kraft actually took the gold to the Remilio Trading Company, or was it still with Nora and the sheep? Because Kraft and Holo got to the city faster than Nora did. So I'm not sure. I think he got there first. Negotiated, quote unquote, with Hans Remelio. Got him indebted. And now Nora delivered the gold that they will sell and split without completely bypassing Remilio? Or are they going to give that gold to Remilio? I know. I'm not sure about this one detail. And the next episode is Supper of 3 and an Afternoon of 2. Supper of 3, probably Kraft, Holo, and Nora, and Afternoon of 2, well, that's gonna be Holo and Kraft. Who else? Actually, could be Holo and Nora, could be Kraft and Nora as well. Wouldn't surprise me. Either configuration. But yeah, let's watch this episode again, shall we? Burning through the ropes. Painful, but smart. No doubt. And yeah, running towards Holo. Not immediately running after Nora, because that would be a very stupid thing to do, right? He's not going to catch up to Horsemen. But running towards Holo for help, because he knows that this is where he can get the help he needs. They betrayed us indeed. But he did keep the cloak safe, yeah. I may kill humans. Here I was actually legitimately hopeful. Again, it's probably like most other shows, fantasy shows largely, and fantasy, manga, light novels, etc., that conditioned me into that mindset where killing a person is not something big, something unusual, right? Like bandits in your everyday garbage isekai of the season, bandits are just disposable. They're just an obstacle. They die in the droves. Their life doesn't matter, right? Someone crosses the main character betrays the main character, well, that someone dies. Maybe not necessarily at the hand of the main character, but one of their companions exacts revenge, or maybe they die accidentally, right? But usually something like that happens. Death is something treated very lightly. And I guess I've kind of been conditioned into this sort of a mindset. But this show treats killing and death much more seriously, right? Holo, killing would be breaking some sort of a taboo, right? Crossing a threshold that cannot be uncrossed. She wants to keep the picture, the image of a beneficial, good deity, right? She doesn't want Kraft to grow to hate her or grow afraid of her, most of all, right? Because if she is a man-eating wolf, then maybe not consciously, but that little spark might appear in Kraft's head that, oh, if I cross her, she might kill me as well, and that might create some fear in him. That's what Holo is afraid of. So she doesn't treat it lightly. She says, yeah, I may kill humans, and, you will have to get over it if I am to help. I can casually forgive the arrogance of a youngster. Yeah, not even a fight. Not a talking to, just an apology from Holo, from the older one, which actually makes sense. Like, it requires Holo to shed some of her dignity, in a way, but she's not so young and hot-blooded and driven by that dignity that she would refuse to do that if it is the best and fastest choice, right? This would be something that this young wolf would do, right? Even though I did wrong, I will not apologize. I will stand and fight, right? That's the domain of the young, hot-blooded ones. Holo is wise. She knows that the best way out of this situation was to stand there, say, I'm sorry for encroaching on your territory. Please take my apology. I will remove myself promptly and never visit your territory again. Right? It would take time and strength, and she would sustain some damage, perhaps even if they were to fight. And it would take a life, probably a life of the wolves around, life of the big alpha wolf, right? Not the best solution. Trying to convince the young one to let her go, giving him a talking to, probably not gonna work either. He's too haughty, he's too prideful. Right? But groveling a little bit, that's what's gonna work. Makes perfect sense. I'm not that angry about getting on my knees, and yet her voice quavers a little bit. Yet there are tears in her eyes. A little bit about, caused in part about Kraft's treatment, or how he was treated, and her anger. A little bit probably about shedding that pride. She is prideful. No doubt about that. She was able to shed it for a moment when necessary, but she is still prideful, and it still had an effect on her that she had to, discard it for a moment. Yet you still carefully folded my cloak and protected it from the rain. Yeah, because you gave it to him for safekeeping, and he would keep it safe, and you are very happy about that anyway. Just look at the tail. Your tail might be beautiful, but it betrays you. Unbelievably good-natured indeed. Yeah, we have to find Libert, and save her. It is impossible for one to welcome the other. Yeah, she's afraid that Nora would just treat her, Nora and Enek mostly, would just treat her as an enemy. I cannot guarantee the lives, and yet she did guarantee them. and this line, right? Like, I cannot guarantee the lives of those who have gotten on my nerves. They might actually die. You must understand that it's a risk. Meanwhile, Kraft saying, kind of a veiled way of saying, even so, I believe that you will not kill them. I personally don't want you to kill them, and I believe that you will, that you will withhold your anger on them, and you will ensure that they remain alive. Where are your praises? Yeah, a little bit wooden, but still. This is interesting moment. She pays no mind that she's naked in his presence, but transforming. Now, that's when you turn away. That's when you close your eyes and turn away. Don't look at me transforming. Because it's unsightly, it's unbecoming, and it's scary. It might be scary to him, at least. Her wolven form, not so much. Her human form, not at all. But the process of transformation might scare him away, and she doesn't want that. She doesn't want Kraft to think of her as a freak that had a therianthrope form for a moment or something like that. No, she's either the dignified wolf or the beautiful young lady. There is no in between. That's the kind of an illusion that she wants to keep. I wonder, and I actually have to note it down, this is not the first time she used the grain from her pouch. I wonder if the grain running out might be a plot point at some point. Grain from Holo's pouch runs out or is running out, right? Like, oh, this is the last of the grain, and she has to transform to save Kraft or whatever, and she has to take the last of the grain. And now, if something happens to her, she has no anchor anymore, right? Essentially, she used up all of her revival items, and now she's on the last life. So now they're gonna have to try to find some other grain maybe quickly so that she can get in, right? Maybe something like that to introduce a little bit of tension, a little bit of drama like that. It wouldn't surprise me. And here we see a nice transformation sequence. Slowly growing fur, then growing in size, her head out of frame so that we don't see the transformation from a human head into a wolven head. Right, like body, human, wolven, they're not so different once you get on all fours, right? So it doesn't need to be put out of frame. And they don't show her lower legs either, to not have to show the transformation from knees bending this way to knees bending the other way, right? Stuff like that. Same for the head, so that they don't have to show how it transforms. We just see the finished result of the transformation, basically. Yeah, there it is. In all of her wolven glory. And then she looks like a fluffy Shiba Inu. I'm sorry, but she really looks like a fluffy Shiba Inu in this form. Yeah, you cannot hurt me no matter how tightly you grasp my fur. I really thought that it's going to be something bigger. Kraft getting to ride Holo. I mean, that's often the plot point or a part of the character whenever you have in a show like that, in a story like that in general, you have a character who can transform into an animal form, or be it a dragon or a horse or whatever. They're always like, oh no, no, you're not going to ride on my back. That's the biggest slight you could ever do to me. And then eventually they get closer with the main character, and eventually the main character is reluctantly allowed to ride on their back, right? Or in the moment of severe need or something like that. That's usually how that a bit of plot goes. Not so much here, like zero hesitation. Get on my back. Not even, not even doing any jabs like, oh, be grateful that I allow you to ride on my back. No, none of that. Get on my back, make sure to not fall off. If you do fall off, I'm gonna catch you in my teeth. Sorry for that, that's gonna be the fastest way. Right? And yeah, Nora will quit being Shepherd one way or another, so you don't have to... you're not going to have to hate her for much longer. Honey pickled peaches. Of course, that's the bargaining card. Amazing music. I already said that. It reminds me of those... not many, but some epic moments in The Witcher 3, where similar music was playing in the background with a chorus and stuff, and the la 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 la, right? And then the entire sky is shrouded in clouds, and it's raining, and there's a storm, and you're fighting some big badass monster, and it's just that, epic, elevated moment, elevated by everything, by the surrounding, by the environment, by the music, and this reminds me of that. The music, the environment, the almost horizontal rain, the thunder and lightning in the background, all of that just makes for this epic scene. The rain-swept and wind-swept grassland, right? All of that. All of that. And a big awoo. And she doesn't actually kill any of them, I don't think. Like, she throws them around with her snout. Yeah, just bumps the dude away. And this one... It doesn't actually deal any, mortal damage, I don't think. Although we don't see those people anymore, so it could very well be that they are all dead. I don't know, I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure. Shepherd, protect me, you must protect me, of course. The lightning is weird. The lightning is very weird. Like, this is not how lightning looks. This is a couple of electric arc.gif slapped onto the screen. This is like my one and only criticism of this episode, that the lightning just genuinely looks like shit. Right? There should be like layers of clouds lighting up from behind. That's how lightning works. Lightning striking the ground. That's how it works. Lightning doesn't just jump between clouds. There is no charge difference between clouds. There's charge difference between the sky and the ground. That's why lightning happens. Bottom up, by the way, if you were curious. It doesn't jump between clouds. That's not how it works. That's not how storm and lightning works. And such a cool, epic scene. I don't want to say ruined by garbage-looking lightning, but it doesn't help. It really doesn't help. I hope that maybe when there is like a Blu-ray release, then maybe they're gonna swap it for, clouds actually lighting up from below. That would be super cool. I don't know, how is this studio with Blu-ray releases? Do they fix much, or do they not fix anything? I'm not sure. We'll see, I guess. 300 Lumion, of course. I mean, that's cheap to say when you expect her to die. Now, what was this? The preparation, the charge, and Nora setting Anek, sticking Anek on a holo, and the bite, and then a transition. Was it... I mean, it had to be Kraft's imagination, but was it also a commercial break? It would fit for a commercial break, wouldn't it? 10 minutes in, pretty much like halfway through the episode, and you are left through the commercials to wonder, holy shit, did Holo really eat Edek and Nora? Did it really happen? Holy fuck, was she not able to overcome her hatred for, for shepherds? But, because we're watching it not on the TV, we immediately see that it was just Kraft's fear that it's going to happen. But he yelled out someone's name, and that stopped the bad from happening. You didn't kill him? Apparently not. Apparently not. Think of this wolf as a proxy sent by our almighty God. Sure. The amount we needed to pay was too high, yeah. Our own debts would eat up the remaining profit. Right, so not even selling the entire gold and smuggling it and fencing it off, not even that would barely cover their debts. Wouldn't even allow them to, purchase much of additional merchandise or whatever, so that they can make further profit. Yeah, makes sense, I guess. You're a merchant like me. No, the fuck he isn't. Kraft is an honest merchant. He's a good boy. He's not going to try to scam people. That's Holo's domain. Remerio betrayed us. This gold is worth 600 Lumione. Right. We could give up the smuggling and run with the gold. But without the funds from Remerio, that's like a surprising amount of loyalty towards Remerio. They will go completely bankrupt. Let them. Things aren't over after getting revenge. We'll continue living after that, yeah. But again, Remerio Trading Company doesn't have to. They may come after us to get their own revenge. How exactly if they're bankrupt? They're not gonna be able to afford assassins, right? You just have to ensure that they never bounce back. Report them to the church that they were trying to do some smuggling, right? And they're done. Easy way to get them off your back. But of course, Kraft is too good for that. And also, I guess he thinks more... His thinking is more oriented towards the future, right? How can I basically exploit the fact that they will now be indebted to us, right? Something like that. Do as you wish, indeed. Nora would like to he would like Nora to decide. I wonder why. We could save both ourselves and Remedio trading. There wasn't enough gold. Yeah, if you split the gold with her, it would barely be enough to pay off your debt. Gotcha, so they're gonna have to smuggle it in anyway, because even this 600 Lumione that they... not 600, 100 Lumione, that would not be enough to pay off the debt. So they're gonna have to smuggle it in one way or another. Why leave that decision to Nora, though? To get her more on board with it? To make it seem like it's her decision? Because, I mean, it would be her decision? I know, I'm not sure about that. There will be no profit if we did not smuggle it in. Indeed. Remero is in a really tough spot. The 100 Lumione worth of gold is probably barely enough for him to recover. Yeah, he knew he wouldn't have enough money to pay us off. That's probably why he agreed to this plan in the first place. It It's to further the profits, right. How do we do that? I'd like you to buy the gold we smuggled in for 500 lumione. Right, the gold smuggled in is worth 100. After smuggling it might... Yeah, after smuggling it might be 100. No, it increases tenfold in value, so it would be 10,000 after smuggling it. 1,000, sorry. But he's selling it for 500. Right, I guess that gives Kraft some immediate funds to pay off his debt and give some to Nora and maybe purchase some new merchandise. At the same time, it gives the Remelio Trading Company a preferential price for the gold so that they can sell it off further for more gold and bounce back. I guess that's the thinking here. How could I pay it off? Yeah, with your, the money you kept for yourself to run with it. You can split the payment over 10 years. I'm sure 500 lumione will be nothing to you in the long run. Yeah, and you're officially indebted, and not to Kraft, but rather to his association, which makes sense. He might not be around at the moment to collect the debt. He might not be in the area, but the association has headquarters right here. They will exact that debt. Also, 10-year debt of Remelio becomes relevant. I don't know how long of a time span this entire story takes place in, so I don't know if maybe, in 10 years the story is going to end and Kraft will settle down with Holo up in the north and they will have enough money to build him a shop up north because they will exact the debt of Remelio. Maybe something like that. But this story has been very good about making the things that were mentioned before actually relevant. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was not just, a throwaway arc, but this debt actually mattered. Good job coming back to your home in Ruvinhagen. You managed to come up with something like this when you had no money. I'll buy this loan off of you. It's for 30 lumione up front. That's enough for Nora's share, and enough to give Kraft and Holo some pocket money to restore their business. I think Nora was promised 10 lumione. You'll get another 100 once Remelio Trading gets back on their feet. They're indebted for 500 though. But okay, he's not saying that you're gonna get another 100 after 10 years. No, another 100 after they get back on their feet. So the first payment, essentially. Maybe, I'm not sure. Should be enough to turn some profit, indeed. Debt payment, Nora's share, few other things. We've broken even. I mean, it's better than you were, right? You were indebted, now you're broken even. I call it an improvement. Even if Nora runs with the gold, we'll be able to chase after her. Right, I mean, not a problem whatsoever. So I guess the gold did not make it into the city yet. Kraft already turned a profit without even having gold with him. So this arc isn't entirely over yet. But I guess now all that has to be done is retrieve the gold, give it to Remelio, and run away from the city with Nora. Yeah, not asking any questions, only later. Whose name did you call? See, this is lightning. This is how it should have looked. Not this fucking lightning.gif things. Whose name did you call? Of course, yours. That's a good answer, but you really needn't have elaborated. Yeah, you really didn't have to elaborate that like that to make it something completely and utterly mundane. You should have kept it with, it was your name, of course, whose else? That's it. That's enough. You don't need to state your reasons. Yeah. He still has a ways to go to woo the ladies, or at least Holo. Try calling out my name. Yeah, on the even hour, to the ringing of the bells. Whose name was it? I know. Figure it out. Also, the setup for it to happen. Holo's ears just perking up immediately to absorb the entirety of this name. And here come the bells. And here comes Nora with the gold. That's the episode, and the title of the next one is Supper of 3 and Afternoon of 2. Afternoon happens before supper, so I guess it's gonna span 2 days. Supper of 3, one day they get, they sell off the gold. Holocraft and Nora share a supper and celebrate, and then the next day in the morning, Nora sets off for a different city. Kraft and Holo set for a different city, and that's why an afternoon of 2, because the afternoon will be spent with just the 2 of them, with Nora going somewhere else. Right? Right, probably. A much darker interpretation would be that by the next afternoon, Nora would have been executed by the church. But I wouldn't want to think that this series is willing to go this dark. So probably not. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Alright. That's gonna do it for this episode. Yeah, that was a good episode. That was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Interesting ending to this whole thing. I really, all this time, I really thought that Holo will finally have to break her taboo about not killing humans, right? I really thought that there's no way now. She's going to have to show herself. They're going to know that there is another wolf somewhere, and they're not gonna, they're not gonna be able to leave any witnesses around. But apparently not. She dropped off Kraft earlier. She jumped over them so that he's not visible from below, so that they don't know that the wolf is associated with Kraft. For all they know, it might just be the wolf of the forest chasing after them, right? So I guess the secret is safe, even if those assassins were left alive. Liebert, he knows that Kraft has some ties to the wolf. He knows that Holo is the wolf. I think her name was mentioned. That could cause problems. Oh, that could cause problems. If he spills the beans to the church in the fucking Vatican, it really could cause problems. So I wonder what's going to stop him from doing that. Just being indebted? The fear of the entire scheme being revealed in front of the church? Right? If you keep shut about it, I'm gonna keep shut about what you did. This sort of a deal, maybe? I know, I'm not sure. But I really was expecting for Holo to, break her taboo in this episode, but no. Not even. Not even when getting rid of the witnesses would be, the optimal play here. Not even then. Not even as an act of revenge for Kraft, no. She withheld. I really wonder what's the next episode going to be. I'm really hoping for a positive finale here, right? They retrieve the gold, they give it to the Remelio, selling it, then they can purchase some merchandise, whatever is available in Ruvenhagen, and go their merry way. That would be optimal. So I'm gonna hope for that. Yeah, I'm gonna hope for that, I think. But right now, I think that's gonna be it. I think I said everything I needed to say. If I figure something else, then I'm gonna say it at the beginning of the next episode, as I usually do. But you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that, in the comments down below. Like, no spoilers. Important, no spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord up here if you want, or in the description. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Spice and Wolf, but also Kaijuu number 8, Kaito, Otome, Unnamed, Memory, Sentai Daishikkaku, plenty others coming in the future, like Yuuki Yuuna Season 2. Click the bell to be notified of when those videos go live, and when I go live, because I do stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Yuuki Yuuna, and for $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly through YouTube via membership, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreon, Scooby, without Anedza, Reine, Yuki, Ala, Ishtamu, Dr. Ward, Akamasar, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to turn into a wolf.